Boom. All right, we should be live. We should be good to go. Everyone in the chat, please do an audio check for us. Let us know in chat to make sure everyone's audio levels are working properly and sounding good. I will go ahead and hand the mic over to Palm. Go ahead and take the floor, buddy.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends podcast, episode 5. And today's podcast is called Going Further Beyond. Before we start, we have one exciting new thing that we want to offer you, which is YouTube memberships. So if you want to support us in any way that you can, go check out the memberships tab. We have 3 different levels. And if you want to support us, that would be a great way to do it. Also, don't forget to check out our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter or Twitch, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and join our public Discord to ask questions, hang out with the community, and check in from time to time. Don't forget to check out the old podcasts after this one, of course. And today we are joined by Bradical.
What up?
We have Goresh in the house.
What's going on, everyone?
We have our streaming host, Nazdarachi.
Hey, happy Sunday, everybody.
We are joined by Professor Sensei as well.
Hello.
And we have Ryuden in the house.
What's going on, everyone?
All right, so today's topics will be, the first thing is the obvious from the title, is the SSJ3 Goku Zenkai. We'll talk about the booster missions, the fact that there were no sales this time. We'll talk about the new raid that we still have underway. We have a return of the Snake Way and Galactic Patrol events. We got the Super Masters pack, and of course, video and stuff is dropping tomorrow. And with that, let's start with Super Saiyan 3 Goku and his Zenkai Awakening. And who better to start that off with than Ryuden? What's your opinion on him?
All right, we're obviously starting out with the most hype thing, of course. Everyone wants to talk about it. Everyone loves the Zenkai. Speaking about the unit himself, well, first of all, this dude came out of nowhere. I didn't think this was going to happen at all. Second, I am unbelievably shocked that his Zenkai ability is Purple Saiyans. That's kind of spooky. And I think we can all agree that as a unit, they did a great job of his Zenkai Awakening. I was concerned at first that he might be another Scouter Vegeta, but he wasn't at all. He's a fantastic unit, and they addressed all the shortcomings that the unit had. So he had key restore issues. He was a bit of a slow starter in that it took, 40 timer counts for him to really be formidable. That's all gone now. And just overall, he was squishy as well. But the combination of his higher stats with his passive to take less damage makes him far tankier. And overall, as a unit, he's great. And I think for your Saiyan teams, he's probably going to be your staple purple if you're looking for one. So I don't know if anyone else feels similarly to how I do, but I think he's a fantastic unit.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job with him in different ways as well, because the first way was I was expecting him to be a Sun Family Zenkai buffer because of the fact that we already have a Purple Saiyan Zenkai ability buffer with the Scouter Vegeta. And my fear was if they were going to make this guy really good, then they were going to hurt the Zenkai ability. And if they were going to make this guy not as good, then they might as well give him a good Zenkai ability to make him like super useful in one regard, but they made him good in both regards. And I believe this is the first Zenkai ability that we're getting a double up of besides Legends Road, but this is like a real Zenkai ability.
Yeah.
And that's why you guys are seeing all these like super ridiculously high ability bonus teams, because this is, again, the first time where you can just throw 2 Zenkai abilities that are doing the exact same thing on a team, and it just makes things ridiculous.
I think... you go ahead, Prof.
I was just gonna comment on what he's saying about the Zenkai buff. I had a feeling that the first sample of this we really got, not counting the EX Masu, was with Cooler and Broly, and then they stepped it up with Gohan and Trunks, and I felt like, okay, they're getting more comfortable with the double Zenkai buff, but I was not expecting them to just straight up have 2 Purple Saiyan buffs, exact same requirements this soon in the game.
Yeah, he's really damn strong, and I think it's with the nature of how these Zenkai abilities go, where it's like it's the tag plus the type that you're going to see a lot of double type teams: purple, purple, red, yellow, yellow, blue, red, red, green, and so on and so forth. I feel like top tier teams going forward are going to be similar to that, which is why you may see a lot of purple, purple, red Saiyans right now with, Scouter Vegeta on the bench, this Goku, perhaps the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, who's like a monstrous support, or maybe a Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and then obviously the ultra dangerous Zenkai 7 Gohan. I mean, purple, red, those two on the same team together and complementing each other so well just makes them super dangerous, unbelievably dangerous. So he really, really helped out Saiyans for sure. They shot up several points with the Zenkai Awakening. So did Sun Family, but I mean, Zenkai 7 Gohan, I mean, they didn't need help.
You sure?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is our version of Realm of Gods, I guess.
So what wonky teams have you tried them out on? I've seen a couple of videos of you guys. I only have him Zenkai 1 and not really tested him out. I've seen Ryuden Goresh at least upload a couple of videos on him.
So I like leveraging his Zenkai ability to see how much he can help out some other units. But what's scary is the fact that some of the times the units will have a good Zenkai ability, but their Z ability is like a singular buffer. So like Scatter Vegeta, it was just blast damage, but he's strike, attack, and blast defense. So he has some extra value there. And with him providing purple Saiyan buffs, you could honestly throw him in Fusion Warriors if you really wanted to, because the core lineup is all Saiyans, and some of the really good ones are purple, like Super Vegito. So I've tried him out in a bunch of different teams. He does a really good job. Yeah, he's awesome. I think he works dangerously well with the purple Vegeta, the Super Saiyan Blue one, just because his support, if you have 3 or fewer cards, he also provides 1 card. So if you do a combo with that Vegeta and then you go to this Goku, you're easily getting 2 extra cards plus whatever damage buffs Vegeta already provided him. So he really is a 1 combo king, this guy.
Yeah, it's same thing with the blue Saiyan Saga Goku as well. Or if you, I think it's if you have 1 or less card, you draw a card when you switch out. So if you switch into this guy, he draws 2.
Yeah, it's that little passive that they gave him with everything that he already does is nuts. I'm actually glad they didn't give him card draw speed, because at that point that's too much. That's far too much for a unit. We probably would have got an Android 18 but on steroids if he had card draw.
A couple people in chat are asking you to boost your volume a little bit, Goresh.
I think I'm at the max. I think you have to turn me up.
All right. Hey, Brad, have you Zenkai'd SJ3 Goku?
Yeah, I Z3'd him, but I haven't used him yet. I went did 10 matches off camera and stuff. I mean, he's a lot of fun. There's no doubt. But it's the same kind of thing that it was weird that he's a purple Saiyan buffer. I was just hoping for something different. I didn't think they were going to actually do it, but I was kind of banking on it. I was like, all right, just something different besides purple Saiyans, and we got purple Saiyans. It's fine. He's really, really, really good. I don't like telling people to Zenkai a unit too often, because it's that's spending a good amount of Chrono Crystals, new banners are coming out and stuff like that, but I mean, he's Sun Family, he's Saiyans, he's really good, and you can get him Zenkai 1 for 2,000 Chrono Crystals if you don't even have him. So
yeah.
It's totally worth it. It really, really is. It's just,
I would say that
everything is a Zenkai discussion now, and that kind of will always bug me a little bit. It's just but it is okay. He's a good unit. He's fun, and he's a cool unit.
I would say that spending 2,000 crystals to get the missions is probably one of the most worth it things you could possibly do with 2,000 crystals right now.
Yeah, well, if you need the regular Z power, not the multi. A lot of old play like myself, I already have them at 11 stars or 12 stars, something like that. So I was like, let me not buy that. But
yeah, then you're better off just getting using 1,000 Chronos to Zenkai 1 him, right?
Yeah, because pretty much every 1,000 Chronos is guaranteed to be 1 Zenkai level. So if you don't need it's great if you do, if you have them at 5 or 6 star and you need that final push to be able to Zenkai, then heck yeah, it's great. But that's the only reason why I avoided it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same for me. But yeah, I guess since we're already talking about it, we got those new missions. We got the red booster mission, the purple booster mission, and the Super Saiyan 3 booster mission, Zenkai booster mission, whatever they're called. And yeah, Goresh, you already started with saying that the SJ3 ones are pretty much worth it. I guess if you don't have them at 7 stars, right?
Yeah. Like if you're a player who's fairly new to the game and you don't even have this Goku at all, think about what 2,000 crystals is getting you. It's getting a 7-star version of this Goku, Zenkai level 1, and a lot like 10 erasers and enough resources to boost him up a little bit in the soul boost system. That's 100% worth it in my opinion, because like you could go. When was the last time this guy was on a banner? Like when was the last time you guys pulled this guy off a banner?
It's been a
So
hot
you-
minute.
Yeah, so I mean, you could go a long time without even seeing this guy return on a banner, let alone pulling this guy. So, I mean, the reason why I put so much value on this is because of the fact that the Zenkai ability is so good, combined with him as a unit being really good as well. Because we saw the last time they did this with a unit was with Scouter Vegeta, Purple Saiyans, and Scouter Vegeta, I'm just going to tell you guys right now, he's not good. So, yeah, they did this guy justice.
Yeah, the those purchasable missions are really darn good if you ask me. Especially like even if you're a new player and I mean you never had the opportunity to really, I don't know, summon for the character, which may not even show up in a banner anytime soon because that is another issue in the game. If you are really interested in this unit, you can get him right there and you can Zenkai him if you really want to.
I
Yeah,
think they
and then we
are.
also-
Oh, I was just to say, I think they're great
Go ahead.
for people that want to take advantage of them. If you have the extra cash and you're finding something that you're a little strapped on, be it Z Power for a brand new character you pulled or some of these other extra resources, then I think it's great to have the option to get that stuff. But it's not being. The only thing I wish is that I wish they would move them. Like, separate the tab out for all the paid missions in their own tab, and then all the free-to-play missions. Like, I understand they want everyone to see them and to help push the sales of them, but I think them being around is great. Just move them to their own tab in the missions area.
Yeah, and then don't have the exclamation mark appear when you didn't buy them. To me, that's still, I don't know. You can call it predatory. I don't know if it's on purpose, but to me it's just annoying.
Yeah, I have like
Having it there.
65 missions complete right now, and most of them are all locked behind those paywalls.
I'd say it's pretty safe to say it's deliberate at this point.
Yeah, I mean they want to push you to be incentivized and to buy them, or maybe trigger the impulse buy of seeing, oh, I have missions, I can't claim them, that bothers me, OCD triggering, let me just buy them and get them out of the way. Like, I'm sure they're working for a little bit of that angle, but it's a little annoying for those of us who know that we're not going to buy them already.
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, it's a business, so from their point of view, I can understand it. From my point of view, I don't have to like it though, right?
You're gonna like it, okay?
Okay, you got. Sorry, I'm sorry, Sensei. But yeah, speaking of business, I found it quite curious or interesting. Maybe it's just because there's not really a new banner out, but we didn't get any sales this time around with the Zenkai. I don't know, Goresh, what do you think about that?
I mean, they've done Zenkais before without sales, but I'm not a huge fan of that. Obviously, because you need to spend 7,000 crystals on average to max the unit out from Zenkai 0, not even Zenkai. So, it's not the worst thing ever because it's not like you're going super deep. But I would appreciate sales for sure. They used to be good with sales, like every single time they dropped any sort of banner at all. Like even the Legends Premium banners that no longer exist, they used to drop sales for those. I don't know. I would definitely like sales if they can, but I don't know. They've become more stingy with those as well. It looks like.
Now they did have sales running, but they were the poo-poo type of sales where it's just pay the same amount but you get more crystals than normal, right? Like it was
I mean, but that's from the previous banner still, right?
Yeah, that's from the dog banner.
Oh, that's just left over from that, and I just didn't buy them.
Yeah.
That's why they're still available. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, they're wolves. Come on, we had this conversation last week, Doug.
Actually, they're canines.
Oh.
Okay, how about that?
So,
I can take
do you think that they were kind of I don't know, expecting people to burn out those sales on the trio to dangers and then have to whale. Like, the whale specifically is who they'd be targeting with that strategy, because everybody else, like me, would still have leftover sales from that banner. So they kind of weaseled that in on purpose, it seems. Like, you use up all your sales in the trio, and then boom, here's this banner, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the true whales, I remember Garesh saying for Dokkan people, Legends is cheap.
Oh, yeah, it's it's a joke.
But sorry, Ryuden, I cut you off.
No, I was gonna say I feel like it might be more because there's probably gonna be a new banner come reset, which is just in a few days. Maybe that's the reason why they just didn't want to interrupt their usual programming of just anytime we get that usual refresh, we're gonna get a sale to go alongside it. I would imagine they just didn't want to double up on that. I know we could just say why don't you just release it earlier so that it could still be used when that banner drops, but we don't really know how they get all this thing flushed out at once, so I think that's probably the reason why. I'm just assuming.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm definitely going to wait until the next banner drops and get sales there and just Zenkai him then. All right. So the next thing that they also dropped, and that dropped yesterday, and hey, it's still not done yet, is the raid against Fat Boost, so the Extreme Clash raid. Naz, how are you farming that one?
I am actually finding it to be about as easy as the Blue Trunks raid was to clear. Like, it's really like you go in, you spend like a minute in the actual fight itself, and then you just repeat the process. Sorry, I had to cough. So anyway, yeah, if you build a team that is efficient at taking down this boo, mind you, everyone in the audience, if you bring any type of Zenkai unit whatsoever, they get a 250% damage buff. So it really makes him extremely easy to take down. They did give him a little bit more health than the Blue Trunks overall, like his total health pool. But with all these Zenkai Super Saiyan 3 Gokus flying around, I don't expect him to last too much longer. Like, last time I checked, he was right around like 10 trillion HP left, which is like 1/5 of his total pool. So probably by the end of today or tomorrow morning, he'll be dead. Now, I will say, what would you say?
It's a funny thing to say. He's only at 10 trillion health left.
Yeah, only 10 trillion. But for
he's
our
just below
community,
10.
that doesn't last too long, it seems.
I think it's important to note that just be sure to actually do the raid at least once to get your medals. If you don't participate at all, you're not going to get any goodies when he's actually done. So don't forget that.
To segue into that, I don't know how I feel about their medal distribution system, because I did the Blue Trunks, and I've actually farmed him considerably trying to get some of the multi-Z powers that I never got. And, yeah, apparently I forgot to ever check the gift box, never got the original set of medals, never used them, then they disappeared, now they're gone, so, yeah, I missed out on that, even though I did the raid. So, I don't know, I'm not too much a fan of their distribution method of these medals, really, because they just, like, silently went into my gift box, and I have a bunch of other stuff in there just chilling, I never checked, and then as soon as the event shop left, the medals left with it, so... yeah, I got kind of shafted there. I was upset about that. I'm definitely going to pay attention this time and try to remember to actually spend them this time. But in terms of the actual performance of the raid, there's not too much else to say. I mean, it's kind of standard co-op, just with better rewards. And it's pretty smooth to get through, so I'm not really complaining. But I hope that they develop more for this Extreme Clash raid, or just Clash raids in general over time. Like, these are good baby steps. But co-op still needs, I think, a good bit more development before it's actually, like, desirable to want to go out of your way to play it.
Yeah, and I think something else to note as well is you don't need the Zenkai Super Saiyan 3 Goku to beat this raid event. Obviously, he's the best unit to use, but you could also use units like Super Vegeta, the purple one, is good because that does extra damage versus regen, and Majin Buu green. You could even use like Zenkai Kid Goku. I think it's probably the best free-to-play option against this guy because Zenkai units get I believe it's 250% increased damage buff against this raid.
Yeah.
So if you have the Zenkai Kid Goku, I mean, his special move, I believe, does extra damage versus regen too. But he does a lot of damage versus this Buu as well. So if you guys farmed him up and you don't have the Zenkai Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he's a very good option too.
Even if for whatever reason you invested anything in the purple Scouter Vegeta, like sent Zenkai, giving him to use him. Like anyone that's Zenkai 1 or up getting that 250% damage buff just makes this a cakewalk.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Prof uses the SSJ2 Gohan.
Yeah.
But are you even playing that, Prof?
He tears through it just about as fast as the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. It's this raid goes by within the first shield.
Yep.
Like if you got a unit at the end of the road, and everybody's already mentioned, if you got somebody, just anybody with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, tier 1 or higher, it melts. Just get in, get your rewards, get out.
Yeah, it does illustrate how helpful that their quality of life changed for adding the Dragon Ball counter for co-op. That has been an extremely useful tool that it almost makes me wonder why it wasn't in there just right from the beginning, because it's a lot different trying to coordinate that and actually successfully getting your dual rising rushes off now that we can keep track of that number.
It makes me wonder why some people still rising rush right when the shield goes down, seeing that you have 2 Dragon Balls.
Well, for this
how
raid,
about-
you can clear it with 1 rush, no problem.
How about Rising Rush when the shield's still up?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the best. Or ult. I've seen enough of that
to see
too.
that.
But yeah, what I also have to say, I mean, we talked about that he has more HP, right? And I really like that because it seems that they're trying to figure out a good spot where, the raid goes for like 3 days. And last time we've basically finished it within like a day. And now it seems that it hits closer to those 2.5, 3 days, so that people who can't play the first day can actually get some rewards, right? I mean, Brad, have you played that at all? I mean, I think you're doing it right now, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm grinding at the moment. I mean, it's alright. I kind of just wish this was like the normal co-op, to be honest with you, after getting the raids, because I kind of find it really tedious to go do the extra 3 every single day. Like, if this one just gave you a boosted 3, there'd be no reason to have the original one. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to do it, I guess, but at the same time, I do kind of get why they can't do that, and they're trying to push it, and that's just my opinion. I've been doing it a lot, and it's cool to get the extreme multi-Z power. I think I've gotten 4 this time, and like that's super dope, because that's like 200 to a unit. It's just, it's very tedious. Yesterday, if you guys saw my post on Twitter, it's very like, I had like 5 DCs in a row, and it just like kills my motivation to play the game, like at all. It's like, all right, cool. So you mean I can only farm this with people I know, like IRL? Got you.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I mean, at the same time, it's a positive. It just made me look at the negative of normal co-op more, I guess. If that sounds right.
Yeah, I mean, it's still co-op, right?
That's the thing, man. I don't know how you fix co-op, because like when it first dropped, that first day was kind of fun. I was like, yo, this is dope. And ever since that first day, it's like, okay.
Yeah, then imagine you getting 5 DCs, and then it's just like what you just saw in the video. Then you get a blue unit, then you get an unboosted Chalice.
Oh yeah.
I had a level
support.
95 SSJ3 Green Goku.
You have to
I
go
mean,
out of
how
your
do you
way
do?
to do. How do you get level 95? Would you like run one stage at the very beginning of the Cyberman?
Probably.
Well, you can't even like run the EXP stage and only end up at level 95. So people are like trying to do that.
Yeah, the
And, I
problem
mean,
with
irritating.
co-op is it's just so repetitive, and it's been the same exact thing since it came out. Because every time they renew the event or they bring a new stage of the event out, it's literally the same event. It's just a different character. It's a different skin on the event, basically, is what it is. It's not different.
I think
Well,
the only
yeah.
thing that was different once was when they had the shield go down really quick against Cooler, was it, right?
Yeah,
That
it was against
slightly
Cooler.
different.
And I mean, that was nice, but it just felt like it was just. I mean, there's kind of the problem with PvE in this game is there's no direct winning with it. Like, it's just kind of like either you steamroll it, or it's just really annoying to play, or you get steamrolled in certain cases, like if you're free to play and stuff. But I can't hate on it too much. I mean, they're trying different things, and we got to acknowledge that as well. And that's always a positive. And this is better than old co-op. Think about how bad it was with just normal co-op for like 6 months. So I'll take it.
Especially the rewards. But yeah, Prof, I think you wanted to say something just now.
I was just agreeing with Garesh. I think pretty much everybody's fatigued and the magic's worn off. It does feel like it's just a new skin on the same thing over and over and over again. Like I haven't touched normal co-op in weeks now, just because I can't get myself to care about it. And I'm sure a lot of people are sharing the same sentiment, or it's just become a chore for them. And I think they need to focus on a mode that'll be fun first, then we can get the rewards for doing the modes later.
I agree with that. And I actually agree with the comment left in the chat as well. It says like just a free 1k CC in Souls. You're 100% right. You get the dual coins and everything too. But I don't want to just do something just to do it. Like I want it to actually feel enjoyable. So I agree with the professor's saying as well, where it's like make it fun and then chuck rewards on after once you know how to make it fun. I don't see how co-op's going to be fun just in general with how people play the game. Like you guys said, bringing Shallot and stuff like that. At like level 1, it's like okay, like I don't get why we're doing this. Like you're just wasting. I can just disband from you, but it's just annoying, you know. Because then you do like 5 or 6 of them, yeah, and then like I have to like close my game out, open it back up, and then like, or if you DC and the game thinks you're the one that DC'd, you're all of a sudden locked out of it for like 2 minutes, and it's like, all right, this is great.
Yeah, but it's funny, Prof, that you called it chores because I considered it like every morning before we had the daylight saving time swap. I woke up like half an hour before the reset, and I was like, okay, time to do my Legends chores, which is like the 3 co-op stages, and then do like Let's Fight, and I don't know, use 10 energy. Actually, most of the times I don't. And yeah, I totally agree with that sentiment.
Well, I'm
It's
like
kind of
perfectly content just staying in PvP all day. I just like if I could get these Zenkai Trunks tickets or whatever the new unit is from PvP and just never leave there, I'd be the happiest camper alive.
Yeah,
But
I think they need
is
to
good. I
fix
enjoy the mode.
they need to fix the queue times for you to be truly happy just sitting in PvP all day.
Well, I mean, 30, 45 minutes in between matches is not enjoyable, but we're in a small section of the community there. I think the vast, overwhelming majority of players would enjoy that feature.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're getting a little bit off track here. So let's just move over to the next one. And yeah, we had a revamp or redo of the Snake Way event, which started yesterday or today. And we also had the Galactic Patrol event coming back, which I think we didn't talk about yesterday or last week. Sorry. Brad, what do you think?
Yeah, so the difference is you can pick between extreme and sparking, right? Was that the difference?
Well, they always had that. It's just now it's not a map. It's just the menu.
Oh, that's the revamp? Oh, I never even realized. I didn't even pay attention. I always do sparking, so I didn't even pay attention. Yeah, you're right. You could always do like the up or the down. I mean, I didn't like when they transitioned to the map with Android 21 to begin with, but it never like bugged me. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. It's like whatever. I mean, it's cool. Snake Way is awesome. It's just free multi-Z power. Like, there's no complaining about that. You're just getting like a free star on a unit or like potentially pushing something up to 6 stars. So
Yeah.
I can't complain about that. Every time that comes back, I'm down. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing much to really say about this other than it's just free stuff and it's fun. I mean, it's not fun. It's just free stuff and it's cool. Like,
Yeah, and it's and that those kind of things are perfectly fine. I want to stress that like I'm not negative about getting free things like getting 1k CC from doing co-op, but we're playing a game and it doesn't feel like a game. That's the biggest issue is that like every day at reset I just sit there for like an hour and just do my random stuff. I do my 3 co-ops. And it's never like fun, you know? It's just kind of like, all right, I have to do this. That's fine.
Chores.
Yeah, no, chores is the perfect word. Sorry, my brain's not functioning today. I apologize. I'm doing like 8 things right now, so I'm sorry.
English, do you speak it?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so I guess there's not that much to say about it, but it's free stuff. You get multi-Z power, and on the Galactic Patrol event, you get those the energy tanks and the skip tickets. So especially for those dying to get some from farming free Zenkai units, I think that's fair.
I think as a closing thought on it, it's something that they're doing to like be a more proactive way to try and get people to log in every day besides just solely the annoyance of doing adventures. Like, if you log in every day to collect your stuff, you log in every day to do your adventures at least once, and then they get you to log in again every day to check out the Snake Way, then I think that they feel like they're doing their job, just trying to constantly get people to remember to log in. So any more focus on stuff like this as opposed to emphasis on the adventure system is appreciated from me.
Yeah, agreed. And yeah, speaking of new stuff, we also got the Super Masters Pack 1 that dropped a couple of days ago. Prof, do you find that banner interesting at all?
I mean, yes and no. I really like these kinds of banners. I know most people that are like me and been playing since the game came out are probably looking at this thinking meh. But I like these kinds of banners because it's a good catch-up mechanic for everybody else. pretty much everybody on here is kind of like yesterday's units. They're not horrible, but they can still hold their own. Some like notable mentions that you can get on this banner is like Kefla, Gotenks, Foot Coup, Yellow Vegito, 21. I guess Broly and Sheila if you're into that. And there's a few others, but I think it's a nifty banner. But I mean, if you go look at their rates, it's like 0.07 and then it's 0.7 or something like that for the guaranteed. You're not going to be able to snipe a unit realistically on this banner, but I still think it's a good addition.
Yeah,
it's funny because. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like one of those catch-all banners that they put up during like anniversaries and festivals, where it's like, oh yeah, there's lots of good stuff on here, but you're not gonna get the specific thing you want. Go ahead.
It's funny because to me, it seems like they hold Yellow Vegito in like the highest regard possible, because he came out in his initial banner back in like March. The only banner he came back on was Legends Yellow. And now the second banner he's come back on is this one, where he's like impossible to pull because his pull rate is so low. So it's like, why are they trying so hard to make him impossible to get? I just don't get it.
It's similar for the Broly Chilai, isn't it? They've only both been back once, and now this is the second time they've been back.
Yeah, I think didn't they come back on like Legends movies or something?
I'm not trying to flex. I pulled them on a single on some random banner that was just around like a month ago.
Yeah, it was that banner that he just came back on. Yeah,
it was Legends movies, I think.
Look at this guy pulling Sparkings on singles.
We'll see. Okay, so I'll give my quick opinion on the Super Master Pack. I think it's fine for dailies. Do not invest any Chrono Crystals in it beyond dailies. You're gonna get just if you're chasing, I don't know, Bardock or something, you're going to get totally screwed. It's not going to be a fun time. Maybe you'll get him one set of like 10,000 or something if you're lucky. But just do dailies. For a daily banner, I got no problem with it. Like, it doesn't bug me at all. It's just, for a catch-all banner, I think it's perfectly fine. Because you happen to get something good, dope. You don't, it's 20 Chrono Crystals, you'll be all right. Like, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, never invest Chrono Crystals and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm more surprised that they're eventually going to provide tickets for this banner. So I'm surprised they didn't just label this Master Pack 4 or something. They called it Super Master Pack or something like that. But eventually tickets are dropping for it. And like Goresh said, it's weird that they hold Vegito to the highest regard possible. So I don't know. It's funny seeing us get this banner with him with his ridiculous low rates, and we're getting tickets for it too. So like Brad said, stick with your dailies. Hope you pull them on a ticket, but otherwise, if you're trying to get one individual unit, it's not worth it.
Just to illustrate that point to everyone, your chances of pulling a unit that you want on this banner are literally, the rates on them are even a third of what getting an LF would be. So getting an LF is 0.25, you're looking at 0.07 to get any of these units. So, again, that's less than 1/3 of the chance of pulling a specific LF you want on a banner.
I mean, if you're crazy lucky, man, and you're crazy, go ahead.
This is a banner where if you just throw your summon to the wind and you're like, I just want whatever, just give me anything, and as long as you're happy with whatever you get, then this banner's not terrible.
Oh, if you're like a new player, it's really not a terrible banner. Like if you're brand spanking new, like 2 or 3 weeks a month, dude, it's not a terrible banner then because there's a lot of options of stuff to get. But if you're going for something, don't chase. That's it.
Yeah, enjoy your sparking pan.
Something else.
It has
Yeah, go ahead.
It has like all the sparkings that are not, LF or exclusives, right? It has all of them.
It's like a festival banner. It has literally everything, which is why the rates are so terrible.
Yeah. Because do you remember these Legends pickup banners that we once had where there was like Hit and the movie Gohan and stuff like this? I think it was right before Christmas last year, before the SSJ 4s released.
Yep.
But they had way less sparkings, and this was actually good. But this one is, you're not going to get the unit you want unless, the stars align.
The interesting thing about this banner is the fact that it goes away, I think, in April, right? So, I mean, we're probably going to see a second one of this banner, like a Super Masters Pack 2 or something like that.
Yeah, this is probably the new format of Masters Pack, right?
So are the Super Master Packs going to contain units outside of I guess they're not even doing the Ultra Space Time units anymore. So is it just how they name it now, or?
Well,
yeah, I guess.
I think this is taking the place of the original Masters Packs that are going to be retired once these banners get underway. And also, this is another way of them sneaking in the increasing frequency of banners that are guaranteeing a sparking in consecutive summons. So that's another, like, people always talk about, well, when does the game get to the point where we just get a sparking on every multi guaranteed? Like, this banner and banners like this are one step closer to that being a daily reality. And apparently we are over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you, everyone in chat. You are all very much appreciated.
Hey, congrats to us.
A little self-pat on the back there.
Congrats to us. I like that. Hey, congrats to us.
Could we be any more enthusiastic? Yes, we could.
Well, we've been saying that number for like a day and a half now, to be fair. Like, so no, we're super hyped. We appreciate you guys so much. Like, there's a lot that goes into this, and you guys come through on the Twitch streams and stuff like that, and thank you guys so much.
Yeah, without audience, it would be boring.
I'm pretty sure this is a new record, by the way, for the Legends podcast. We have 715 people watching, so appreciate that.
Dang, bro, I didn't even realize. You guys are killing it. Thank you so much.
But just quickly going back to this topic here, one other point I wanted to bring up before we move on to the next topic is the fact that they've been bringing out like a lot of different Masters Pack banners. Like, we have Masters Pack Z, now we have Super Masters Pack. Like, is Masters Pack Z just going to be, like, discontinued? Like, what's going on with that? Because they haven't updated it. It's supposed to be only for Zenkai characters. We've gotten, like, 1 billion Zenkai characters, and they haven't updated the banner at all. And they said
I can see a Z2. I can see a Master Pack Z2. And then they just have the next Zenkais on there. I mean, because they smack them all in one banner. That's too easy for people to pull it, then, you know?
Maybe they're just waiting for, like, them to be, like, lumps of 10. Like, every time 10 units show up, they'll... I don't know. I'm just trying to give them an excuse, but...
I feel like it's coming in December. Like, they're gonna do a bunch of holiday banners, and they'll drop Master Pack Z2 or whatever, and give you a bunch of free tickets for it, and start going crazy here in a minute.
Well, it makes sense because the Zenkais go down in price, so it makes sense to bring a bunch of them.
I bet they're waiting for November, December to start dropping that kind of stuff.
Who does Master Pack Z have all the way through? Who's on
Trunks. I think it's Trunks is the last one.
Trunks.
The red Trunks was the last one added, yeah.
But they were updating that banner as units were coming out too, right?
Yeah, and then they just stopped.
They must have noticed that sales on it just weren't pushing or something. Like, I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. Like, everything in this game is like them casting a fishing line out into the water and then slowly reeling it in to see what hooks the fish. And if the fish aren't
That's a really good analogy.
like, the fish aren't hooked, then they don't use that bait anymore, right? So...
I don't think I've been hooked since the Super Saiyan 4s. That was my prime banner. That was a fun banner. I actually enjoyed summoning on that. The anniversary was good, but I want more step ups like the Super Saiyan 4s. Whatever was up with that banner, man, it was good.
But yeah, that fishing analogy I think is the best bet for how they approach this game. Like, everything is pretty fluid. They're developing different things on the fly. They're testing different things, and if it works, we probably end up seeing it again. And if it doesn't, it probably gets kind of killed off and swept under the rug a little bit.
I'm not trying to get too off topic, but do we have any, like, I wouldn't say solid because we don't really know for sure, but any real speculations for what we can expect to see in the next couple months based off current trends?
Zenkais.
Lots of power creep.
Zenkais is right, but...
All right, guys, let's move on. We have one more topic to cover, and this is one where we can potentially spend a lot of time on. And that is the new and announced video and stuff that is dropping tomorrow. Well, it's 2 p.m. Central European time. You do the maths. I think that's like 9 a.m. Eastern. And that would be then 6 a.m. Pacific. We were planning to do a live reaction stream, so make sure that it's here on YouTube, right? So not on Twitch this time, but on YouTube.
Right.
Make sure to check that out. And Goresh, can we expect to see you there?
Yes, I'll be there.
Great.
Yeah, we are doing some type of live coverage. So that goes hand in hand with what you were just saying, Professor. So we don't really know offhand. I mean, I'm sure we could sit here and speculate for the rest of the afternoon. But our best bet of knowing what's coming up next will be to check out, and of course, anyone who's looking on screen, this is the old one. It's not the new one, but tomorrow the new one will be out. And that'll be our best bet at finding out what's up and coming without having to spend hours just speculating and theory crafting about it.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in watching the reveal with us tomorrow, we will have, obviously, Twitter links and stuff up. So make sure you follow us on Twitter to have the direct link to the stream. And, yeah, we hope to see you guys there tomorrow. But, yeah, you guys want to speculate on what we could see?
So what do we know for sure? They said that they're covering a little bit about the major update that's coming later in the year. Toshi is facing off against you, and there's supposed to be some new info, never before seen. So no, it's not anything from the V Jump, and it's not going to be anything that was teased beforehand. So this is new stuff that we haven't seen before. What do you guys think we could see? Because if we remember last year, I think it was like in the last quarter of the year, we just got a bajillion step up banners. So we're bound to get a new LF soon. There is a chance we could see a new LF in this video and stuff. What do you guys think?
I mean, Black Friday is around the corner, right? So they could be talking about what's coming up for Black Friday.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet.
Yeah,
And
I would assume that not only are they going to try and cue us in with like quality of life stuff and different little things here and there that they're actually adding gameplay wise, but this is another opportunity for them, like I had just mentioned, to hype up the bait for their next fishing rod cast. So they're going to definitely probably be doing that to try and get people excited and ready to spend some money.
I see a lot of people talking about Gogeta. I don't know why people are getting this idea that they're going to release a Gogeta.
It's
I
got to
really don't.
be because the V-Jump scans, and people see Dokkan do it, so they think that Legends is... Because they do have a pretty reliable track record of bouncing back and forth with each other, right? So...
Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like because if they were going to do a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta this year, there's like almost no reason why they wouldn't have done it during the anniversary.
Well,
What
I
about- they
feel
could
like
save it for New
GT
Year's,
could,
maybe.
could be
That would be
used
like-
any kind of buff right now.
New
Prof, can you
Year's.
repeat?
I was about to say GT could use any kind of buff right now. So
Yeah. And I mean, last year they released GT units around holiday time, so maybe they could do that again this year.
That's
don't
what
know
I'm
if
saying. I
that's
would
a
expect
better-
that more around New Year's, maybe. Like, but I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm not in the know, so anything is it's pure speculation. Which, like I said, we could spend literal hours sitting here talking about. Well, it could be this guy. It could be that guy.
Movies could use some help too. I mean, GT and movies, I think we all agree, are two tags that have been a little bit neglected up at this point. So it'd be great if there's a general theme between those two. I know they just got Ray Saiyaman 1 and 2, but they
Well,
still
that's
need
what-
some more.
They usually do like that's what this game does. They'll release units and buff a tag in like a series, a little trend. So maybe they're on the movies train right now, and movies is going to get a couple more units before they.
Well, we got Vegeta and Cooler coming, right? That's definitely
Yeah, that's
movies
why.
buffers. And we got
Right.
Bojack Gohan this time last year. Vegito came out the first anniversary. Vegito came out the second anniversary. So Fusion was reigning. GT was in December, so I could see GT again. Like they definitely have their standard, like you guys said, trends for sure.
Well, I think it's safe to say it's not going to be Goku Black this Black Friday.
I would think so. But hey, you know what, dude? You never know, man.
Maybe they
What
planned
is it for
out
that?
Goku Black coming out a little bit early to pave the way for like a Fusion Zamasu and Spirit Sword Trunks. So who knows?
please God no.
Because like, I literally
What's the
think
problem,
like,
Prop?
the
I don't
next.
want more hybrids or more future.
Well, okay, watch. How about LF Spirit Sword Trunks and then Zenkai LF Goten?
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, if you want to pitch it to me that way.
Yeah, I fully believe, like, because we still have the vanilla Tournament of Power stuff to get to, and we still have the very end of the Goku Black stuff to get to from Super. Whatever they do from Tournament of Power is going to be, like, the first versions of, like, those units, because they haven't milked the Tournament of Power yet. So if we get anything from there, it'll be, like, units that, you know, okay, they're pretty hype, but, you know, we're going to see them again, right? Like, if we get a UI Goku, there's no way that it's not going to be like 3-4 more of them coming down the road, right? So they're either going to go vanilla TOP stuff, I'd say, or end game Goku Black arc, and then potentially, like I said, GT or some movie stuff would be an option as well. Like there's still pretty hype stuff in all those categories that they have not covered yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely movies.
I think I see some people saying, of course, as we would expect, Blue Gogeta. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, I don't think they would release him for Black Friday.
No,
Black Friday is hype, but it's not like a New Year's level or anniversary level. Like New Year's and anniversary to me are the two most hype times that this game has, in my opinion.
I would love to
And-
see even like for GT like a Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku that transforms into Super Saiyan 4. Like we still need that. We don't have any transforming Super Saiyan 4s yet or anything.
Yeah, that could definitely work too.
I'd love to see. You know what would be cool if they did go movie theme? If we saw like the more old school Broly's, like a transforming one. Who wouldn't
yes.
like to see that? I'd love to see that. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
like that the non-rage form Super Saiyan version of Broly that almost never gets representation in any Dragon Ball fighting games.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
one of my favorites with like almost blue hair.
Yeah, where he's
Yeah,
Oh, I
I'd love
love
to
him.
see that transformation animated in the game. Like he just explodes. I'd love to just see him nuke himself to a new
Yeah,
transformation.
it does look like that.
Yeah, it would look pretty cool.
oh yeah, where like the beams of light are like tearing through his skin, and then he just like screams and like light
Just
blows
zoom in
up.
on his face and he just falls apart. Like I don't know if Legends would do that, but I mean just the whole blow up and then boom, here's big buff steroid Broly. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, definitely. We need transforming Super Saiyan 4s. We need good transforming version of Broly, like you just said. Because the only transforming Broly is the DBS version, so we don't have any legacy stuff for him.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of Gogeta Blue, wouldn't it be a good opportunity to release at like the anniversary of the movie itself, for example?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's more towards the holidays.
Isn't that like late January, right, or early February, something like this?
No, it's actually I think it's December, right?
Yeah, it's literally like late
yeah.
December.
They released it late in like US and EU and stuff, right? I guess Japan was earlier.
Yeah, Japan. I believe it was like December 14th or something like that. One of those days. Because remember Purple Broly came out like right before the holiday period in 2018. I think it was.
This man is so old.
He is so old at this point.
No, when he gets his Zenkai, he's gonna be thick with this Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
He's gonna start beating everybody like, well, you called me old? Pow, 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 pow.
I mean,
he's gonna be
double
he's gonna
Zenkai
be
buff with Zenkai
absurd.
Bardock.
Dude. Oh no.
Oh yeah, with Bardock together, that's gonna be. We're just gonna wait for Gogeta to get his Zenkai then.
Although I say
40 or
like,
60.
no, like it's gonna suck, and it's like, bro, we're already facing an LF with a Zenkai that bodies people in one combo, so it's like whatever.
Well, the further they set this bar up in the air, the harder it is for somebody to catch up, and so it's going to cap out at 2 to 3 Zenkai buffs per team, but it looks to be getting out of hand right now.
They've done a good job with the
mission.
missions for sure. Sorry, they've done a good job with the missions catching people up fast. Like having a 7K and then you spend that and you get a Zenkai 1. That's catching people up, but yeah, there's still a lot of people that are going to be so far behind on teams. Like if they start playing right now, it's like, yeah.
Well,
but
with sheer stat stacking alone, I can run a full mono red hybrid team with the double Zenkai buff, and it doesn't matter if you're blue. It doesn't matter if you're Vegeta blue. It can take all the hits in the world and dish out more damage than you could dream of. And
but you're a mad lad. You're a mad lad, and you're an exception to the rule too. Like,
but Brad, I ran your favorite unit with a double Zenkai red buff, which is B-Pan, and yeah, that was fun.
Is B-Pan my favorite unit?
Isn't it? No, is it your second favorite unit after the SSJ GT Kid Goku?
I would not say she's like the 35th favorite unit, maybe.
What?
When she dropped, I liked her a lot. She was a lot of fun. I'll give you that. But I wouldn't say she's even in like my top like 20 at this point.
Oh man, I got you so wrong.
So I didn't mean to roast you. My bad. Like I.
But yeah, I played B-Pan and mono red even against like a Vegito blue. I mean, you have Gohan to back it up, right? So it doesn't matter if it's one blue in the entire team of the opponent.
I mean, and if I could say one thing really quick, I was exposed to this unit yesterday during the Dokkan podcast, but Grandpan needs to make his way to Legends, please.
Fair enough. Ryuden, did you want to say something earlier?
Oh no, Brad already covered it. I actually forgot what I was going to say. Oh no, now I remember what I was going to say. I was going to say, we were on the topic of how like units are getting very, very strong. I was just going to say, eventually it's going to get to a point where if you show up with a unit, you kind of just win by default. It just forces a forfeit. At what point does overkill just become way too much?
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do you guys want to give your final predictions for what you think we'll see during the Legends and Stuff video?
I think some Tournament of Power. But
Tournament of Power, okay.
I think it's movies.
Movies, okay.
I think it's going to be a precursor to the holiday event. Like, I think it's going to be TOP, and they'll give you a little bit of it, and then a lot more here next month. Well, I guess the month after next.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be the trolly one since everyone's kind of given more realistic answers. I want to say transforming Garlic Jr., bro. That's what I want.
That's what they're gonna reveal in Legends and stuff. Garlic Jr.
Yes, transforming Legends Limited Garlic Jr.
Legends Limited. Huh?
He never gets any love in Dragon Ball games, bro. I'm starting a movement.
He'll go all in, dog. Like, if they release him with UI, it would work.
I'm releasing a
UI
movement,
Garlic
bro.
Jr.?
I want.
If Nast is correct, I won't know what to think anymore.
No, if they release him with UI Goku, they would sell.
You said with UI, so that's what
Well, I mean,
UI
hey,
Garlic
you
Jr.
want to give him UI? I'm all for it. Like, I'm not gonna fight that.
What, UI Goku versus Garlic Jr.
No,
thing?
Garlic Jr. would have UI. I'm all for that. Dude.
Wait, UI Garlic?
Yeah. Just imagine him with the aura.
Bro.
Yes.
I'm
You
gonna
not say
say-
no to that?
I'm gonna say TOP as well. I think that's a safe bet because we just got the dogs, and I think that's like sort of them getting ready for what's to come next.
That makes sense because they always they always do stuff like that. Like that team of the dogs is like 100% incomplete. It's only half a team right now, so we'll probably see the other half of that team coming pretty soon. At least another half of that team. It might not be the other half of that team, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so I predict that you is going to reign supreme.
Oh,
Okay.
and what did I say in our private talk to Gresh? I want them to add, for April Fools or whatever, I don't care when, I want them to add that little bug character from the Tournament of Power, right? The one that's so small that he's like, everyone thinks he's invisible. So they don't even have to do any work porting that character over to Legends. It's just an invisible character model, and you just get beat up by thin air. That'd be great for Legends, right? I think that would
Man, and we thought Janemba sidestep would be bad. Imagine not being able to see anything at all. No
It's
sidestep.
It's that little
Oh,
bug character,
whoosh.
right?
With the
That's the
delay
real
we get
test,
sometimes,
dog.
I feel it's already happening.
Yikes. Okay. So before we go into our break, we had one donation, and that donation was from Nick, $2. I like Goku Black more than Vegito Blue. Thoughts? Thank you, Nick, for your $2. And yeah, before we go into questions, don't forget to check out our Twitter page. Check the description to also follow us over on Twitch. Join the public Discord. Join our Facebook page. And don't forget, you can now become a member here on YouTube if you want to support 59 Gaming. Be sure to check that out. And we will be right back.
And we're back. We're unmuted, and we finally have an answer for our donationary person.
All right, we're back, everybody. And did you really think we're not going to answer the question? Think again. So, who do you think is more hype, Goku Black or Vegito Blue? Suresh, I think you wanted to answer that one.
Well, he said he likes Goku Black more, and the way that I interpreted that was he thinks he's better. And what I would say is I think you can build the team around Goku Black more than you can for Vegeta Blue, because Goku Black's going to benefit a lot more from card draw speed and from green card than Vegeta Blue is. So I think it's more, you have more control over your how the team performs just from the team building aspect with Goku Black than Vegeta Blue. So it's tough to say who's better just on just straight up, but I could see the argument for Goku Black for sure.
And it's kind of a trick question, because in that specific matchup, I mean, it's green versus blue, so like Goku Black wins like in 8 out of 10 matchups where you get like, unless Vegeta Blue's got the Rising Rush on deck, like I don't know, it might be hard for him to take out that Goku Black with a lot of stars. So I would have to go with Goku Black specifically for that matchup also. Like,
well, yeah. So I just read it as like opinion wise, like what do they want to hear? I already answered the comments. Like I like Goku Black more just because like it's not fun to just strike someone like 4 times over and over and over again. It's not any more fun than that. Like Goku Black, he looks cooler in my opinion. He feels more like not necessarily versatile because they're on like the exact same teams, but I have to go Goku Black as well just because I like him more than Vegito. Maybe Vegito Blue just kind of got shat on in my mind.
Dude, I like Cyberman more than Vegito Blue.
Okay, well, I'm not in that camp. Hold on, like.
Not all of the bad guys in Dragon Ball, like historically, are super well written. A lot of them are kind of like just one-note bad guys who are just bad to be bad. So, I don't know, Goku Black has some interesting motivations and a little bit like better fleshed out backstory than I would say like half the villains in Dragon Ball. Like, you know, I'm not talking crap on any particular villain, but it's just like when you look at Cooler's just like, he's literally a copy of Frieza, but just a big brother. Like, his motivations are all the same. He hates all the same people. You know, but, I mean, yeah, they reused another Goku.
He hates all the same people.
It's like, yeah, but I mean, Goku Black at least has a pretty fleshed out backstory, you know, being the Zamasu and how he went about stealing Goku's body. So, I don't know. I like the villains when they're well written. So I like Goku Black a lot. Vegito is just like, oh, the good guys need to win. Let's break out Vegito real quick.
Well, and how long did we see Vegito Blue? Like
5
minutes or something? Like,
yeah.
So at the same time, you could make that argument too, but.
Wait, did Nash just imply that Vegeta Blue won?
Well, he definitely won while he was out, and then they one-upped him, and you know the story needed to take a turn in another direction, so they gave Trunks the W on that fight. But
I don't think Vegito has ever won.
Vegito Blue was literally put into the series for the specific reason of him selling like units in these games. Like, that's the reason why they did.
It's like hype.
Well, isn't he supposed to have like Vegeta's armor?
I don't think he was supposed to be in there at all, and then that was Toei's idea. Was like, okay, let's just put Vegeta in there.
Yeah, Toriyama does not like using either fusion. He doesn't like using Gogeta or Vegeta because he thinks it's a cheap cop-out. Like, I mean, Dragon Ball, you know, we use that term loosely because a lot of the times the good guys win. It's kind of cheap. But at the same time, like, he has been on interviews saying that he does not like using them as, like, a story crutch because he feels like it's too easy. Like, you know, oh yeah, let's just have him fuse and win. Boom, there you go. I think he doesn't like that.
Yeah, I saw that meme on Twitter. I think where it's like Vegito Blue and Rose side by side, and then it's like draws a lot of cards, gets a lot of hate. For Vegito Blue, draws a lot of cards, gets a lot of love for Rose, just because of his green card.
Yeah.
I think it's just because Vegito was like busted when he dropped, and Goku Black's like on par. That's it. Like, we moved so fast from the anniversary. Like, think about where we're at now compared to like during the anniversary when it was like Vegeta Blue was just stomping everybody, and now there's answers. So that's why. But people are also a little crazy, you know.
All right, I think it's time to move over to our Twitter question. And don't forget, if you want your questions on the podcast next week, keep your eyes peeled for our questions thread, which should be tweeted out on Friday. So make sure that you follow 59 Gaming on Twitter. And the first question is from one of our regulars over here, Ryan Tillogder. And he's asking, do you think 3 new main units with 3 Zenkai units buffing the 3 main units with their Zenkai ability and Z ability is the meta that Legends is trying to push?
I
ignore the
think
second part of
that
the question.
Zenkai everything is their ultimate goal. Like, there's just going to be Zenkais all over the place buffing everybody. And there's going to be layers of team building. Like, not only are you going to be building your teams around what we know right now, like the Z ability buffs, movies, Saiyans, regen, stuff like that, but there's also going to be sub-builds that are based around Zenkai units that particularly synergize well with each other, and others that don't. Like, for example, the Purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku, great synergy across, Purple and Saiyans, whereas you'll have other Zenkai characters that are much more restrictive with their Zenkai buffs. So there'll be the regular team builds, and then there'll be that other layer of trying to get squeeze out as much efficiency from the team as possible for those 5,000 ability bonus percentage builds.
I gotta be honest. I think it's not even that deep. I think what happens is they just Zenkai a really hype character because it makes money, and then the meta that follows it is just an afterthought. It's like, he's cool, Zenkai him. What's that? He's now part of the best team? What do we do?
I think they put a little bit of thought into that. Like, maybe they'll pick some Zenkai units from teams that are being especially slept on, but then other times, it's just like you said, they just pull it.
Oh, yeah, no, dude. Saiyans and Sun Family was really slept on recently, so I'm glad they buffed that with Goku.
Well, I
feel like it might be a bit of an afterthought. I think the primary focus is just
it's 50-50. We saw the androids get their revamp, and androids needed it. So it's definitely 50-50. Sometimes they're just like, well, this will sell. Sometimes like, well, this will help teams and sell. So it makes sense.
I think 18 had to be ridiculously busted.
Well, yeah, absolutely, she wouldn't have sold otherwise.
Yeah, people have been asking for her forever. Probably like the second most asked Zenkai after Trunks, huh?
Well, she did win the poll, I guess, quote unquote poll on the survey. Remember when they asked like who do you guys want to be the next Zenkai, and she was apparently the unit who got the most votes on there. So
cool beauty.
Yeah.
This one never gets old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think I don't know if there's like necessarily a method to their madness, but it's definitely like some Zenkais are much more oppressive and overpowering than others. Like, people keep referencing how the Super Saiyan 3 Goku just came out, and he's not too crazy. He's, kind of like well above average, but not obscene to the point where it's just like, what the heck is going on? Meanwhile, 18 kind of more is in that territory, but then she got checked real hard by Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So I do think that moving forward, some of the Zenkais are going to just be inherently way more valuable on paper than others, but over time, even some of that value might change and like kind of flip-flop around as new team builds come up, new other characters come out and stuff.
Not to be contentious, but I personally feel Super Saiyan 3 Goku is just a half a step behind Zenkai Gohan. He is so incredibly powerful with the strike card, key on entry, and an ultimate. Oh, he 100 to zeros you straight up. I'm far more scared of that Goku than I am of 18.
Yes,
I run reds. That I'm way more scared of that Goku.
Yeah. For the double red hybrids builds, yellow 18 is not too big a problem. Like, she can still do a lot of damage, but she does not survive very long.
Oh, sorry, I misspoke. I run double purple. I've been running Goten and Purple Gohan PPR again. I'm more scared of the Goku. His strike on entry, if you play it right, it's very reminiscent of Purple Vegeta, the God Vegeta, and 21 when she first came out. You can set it up to 100 to 0, pretty much anybody in the game. Follow it up with the fact that his ultimate can feint you. That puts incredible amount of pressure. Do you take a full HP unit and cover change into a possible Oko? Like, past 155 timer counts, that Goku controls the field. I am terrified of that Goku. 18, you can play around. That Goku, I don't know what I'm going to do.
All right. I think those are good closing words. We're going to move on to the next question, and this one's from Siddhant Verma. And he's asking, when do you think older units with bad kits are going to receive Zenkais like Yellow Kid Gohan, Green Cooler, Yellow Frieza, and especially the blue free-to-play Spirit Bomb Goku, shouldn't they prioritize these units first?
The reason they're not prioritizing those units because even if they got Zenkais, they still won't sell very well. Just because those units are not particularly exciting, no matter what they would do to them. So I think. What did you say? You tell them? Yeah. Like these units.
Green cooler.
And that's
Who cares
look,
about that
that's even
green
Garage
cooler?
saying the yellow Frieza. Not to say anything bad about the yellow Frieza, but he's like ultimately been replaced by just other units. Even if he were to get a Zenkai, like even his character model is in the game 100% with the red Frieza. So it's like you're not missing out on anything by not being able to use that yellow Frieza. But I think they're just sticking with Zenkais that are going to not only be somewhat useful for the meta, but more so, like Ryuden was saying, they're just looking at ones that are going to make money, and then they examine the meta after the fact. Which is why you don't see these units getting Zenkai'd that you listed.
I think we will eventually see them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like Yellow Frieza, I could see, just because of the fact that there's not that many options of units that they could Zenkai for LOE. Like there's, again, I keep saying this, I feel like every week at this point, but people don't say this but me. Like Green Golden Frieza, I could see getting Zenkai. I want that to happen. Yellow Frieza is probably the other unit I would probably say on LOE that I'd want to see get a Zenkai. No, I don't want Chilled. Don't even mention Chilled. I don't want him to get one.
You
What
could
about the
be
purple
Scatter
Chilled?
Vegeta for LOE.
Even with a Zenkai, Chilled is still like hard bench relegated.
Well, Chilled will never get one just because, like you said, no one cares about him.
Yeah, they wouldn't make any money off of that dev time like whatsoever. So they'll just sneak him in like as an afterthought once like they're pumping out like 4 new Zenkais at once or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I definitely think that the Yellow Frieza is definitely like in consideration, I would assume at this point. Because of the fact that for LOE there's really not that many options. Maybe red metal coolers in there as well. But for Yellow Kid Gohan, like think about how many hybrid Zenkais they have right now. Do they really need more? Green cooler for movies. Would they rather Zenkai green cooler? I'm gonna pull up the list. Let me look up the green Zenkai or the green units for movies. I think it's him. There's the green Broly. Who else is there?
The Spirit Bomb absorbed Goku.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that guy.
Super Gogeta, or is that a anime original?
Broly.
But he's
Well,
he's
okay,
easy.
so the
And then
main
there's the Green Fist Goku too.
the main units I could see them doing a Zenkai for. I mean, obviously Broly's probably the first option because it's goddamn Broly. He's easily the most popular unit on there, so I could see him getting one over cooler. But yeah, I don't know. The Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku also is really cool. I would love it if he got one as well.
Yeah, because right now he was all defense and then nuke. But if they actually gave him some ability to compete in the current meta, he would do real well. Especially because he's got the buff damage against androids, and you still see them as a threat pretty often right now.
That's a good point. Yeah.
fair enough.
I just don't think that, like, Yellow Frieza, you mentioned in the video, like, his whole Z ability needs a rework, too. Like, not
Yes.
just Zenkai. And they have never
Yeah.
done that for a unit yet, so...
Well, they used to do it for what was like the old balance updates, but they haven't done it since then.
Yeah, his Z ability is awful. Like, literally
It's just
awful.
yellow, right?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
yellow.
it's yellow both defenses. The reason why they did that is because that Frieza came out before LOE even existed in the game. Like the tag didn't exist.
Yeah, he was the first Final Form Frieza in the game, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because that tag, the LOE tag, released with Chilled. Because otherwise, Chilled would literally have nothing to do. Like you wouldn't be buffing anything but purple if that was the
What, are
case.
you not using anime originals? Come on, man.
Yeah, like, he doesn't even count because it was like an OVA made for TV. It doesn't even count as movie saga for him. Just
Let's give it to be released.
Well, I mean, what if they release Zenkais that are based on elements and not off like LOE or Saiyan though?
That would be ridiculous. Like just purple.
Well, I mean, he's Yellow Frieza, so what if he buffs just straight yellow units? He's not going to get all the synergy from a hybrid team or a Saiyan team, but he's a pretty nasty yellow unit to either bench like you would EX Broly or hit currently, or run on some crazy YYB team.
I don't know. That's a little too expansive, I think.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay,
I mean,
so let's move on.
If they did that, last thing and then we'll move on. If they did that, I think they would have to make the values lower. Like maybe do it like the Legends Road values, like half.
Yeah,
I
it's like I don't know. It's definitely gonna be a
probably.
sub-meta build. Like if you focus color builds right now, anyway.
All right, so let's move on to the next question, and that is coming from Juan, the only one. And the question is, what's the best improvement to the game so far, and what do you want to see improve in the mid-November update?
They have always hit home runs with their quality of life updates to the game. Like every single quality of life update they've made has been a pretty significant improvement over just really obnoxious aspects of like, like clicking the soul boost panels individually versus them adding the click all button. And now there's like the real global click all button, which will do like all 7 pages at once instead of 1 page at a time. So that's just one small example. I think their best improvements have been to the UI, to the interface, to like all the back-end systems. They've all been great. However, I would actually like to see more actual improvements to the game and the netcode. Like, I still have the problem where I bought a brand new Note 20 Ultra and I upgraded my home internet. I cannot play Legends on Wi-Fi anymore at my house. Like, it just does not connect. I'll sit in the lobby forever until I turn Wi-Fi off, then I can get matches. So I would like to see them improve some of the actual gameplay stuff, some of the connections, some of the stuff that's not just quality of life and back-end UI stuff, which I think they've done great with all that stuff, but perhaps focusing more on the actual gameplay would be a good next step, in my opinion.
So
I agree. Good.
So I think that's something that's possible that I would love to see, that anybody that's going out for equipment right now knows exactly what my pain is. But I want an auto select feature for equipment to just mass sell items. Just let me select 20 items that are all D rank or lower with 1 click, and so I can just sell them all immediately.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Me personally, the best improvement to the game so far, I don't think it's just one thing. I think the best improvement that I've seen is actually recently, where they just started releasing all of these events, like we just talked about earlier, the Snake Way event, the Jocko Galactic Patrol event. Like the way that they have just increased the amount of resources that they're giving us, basically for free, but you have to at least log in and do these events. I think that's one of the better things that they've done. Legends, the whole Legends weekend thing is overlooked. I think people don't really talk about that much, but you actually end up getting a ton of resources just for logging in. You get those tickets, you get the free sparking every weekend, you get the extra souls from the soul stages, like all that stuff. People don't really talk about that, but you compare that to the game 2 months ago, and it's like a completely different game almost. So I think that collectively is probably the biggest improvement that the game's had, in my opinion. And in terms of what I would want to see improve, look, we've had this battle system for what, like 6 months or something at this point. We need a new one. We need some updates to the battle system, even if it's nothing that is drastic. We just need it to feel fresh, because right now I'm queuing up into PvP and it just feels stale. Like, it feels like I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. I want to have a new, fresh feeling to PvP when I jump in. I don't want to feel like I'm doing the same thing every single time.
One thing that I missed from the previous battle system. Now I know a lot of us weren't complete fans of tackle step and stuff like that because it really forced the move. But one thing we can say is the PvP felt really fluid. Things just connected together and transitioned really well. And like tackle was that middle step that helped flow everything. PvP even now still feels like kind of clunky and not smooth. And I remember looking back at some like older footage prior to the change, and the pace of PvP was a lot faster too. So my hope is that they make some sort of change to make PvP play fast again, because it plays really, really slow and really clunky to me. If you look at the two directly and you pay attention to them, you can really see the difference in the pacing and everything. So
yeah, and it's interesting that you bring that up too, because I wonder if that's one of the reasons why they started pushing this huge like power creep in terms of like offensive units. Because the meta, like I say this in like almost all my breakdown videos, where like the meta is so fast because these units are tearing through teams in like 3 or 4 cards. And I wonder if the reason why they did that is because the game is just inherently like you said, more clunky feeling.
It's like there's much more distinction now between whose turn it is than what it used to be in the past. Like before, you could do your charge step combos with the tackle step to potentially get a second vanish. And nowadays, unless you're using someone like Basil, It's really much more like, okay, it's your turn to try and attack. Okay, it's my turn now. I vanished. I mean, back and forth, as opposed to that fluidity that the game used to have before.
Yeah. So,
No, yeah.
Brad, go ahead. You wanted to say something earlier, right?
No, yeah. So the thing that like I think changed a bit, I actually like the missions a lot. I think they're. I know a lot of people look at 2,000 Chrono Crystals. We were even discussing it the other night on Twitch. Follow us over there if you want to catch up on some of these discussions. We were talking about it, and people were like, "Oh, well, now Gresh should just become pay to win. You know, if you want to do this or do that, do the raid." And it's like, I don't think 2,000 Chrono Crystals is pay to win. That is so crazy. I never thought I'd see the day we'd get a unit for 2,000 Chrono Crystals, and you get him Zenkai 1, whole bunch of resources, and just shoot him straight up to 7 stars. Like, I bet you that Super Saiyan 3 Goku, if I got to give you a rough number, 30 to 35,000 Chrono Crystals I've spent getting him on banners or chasing him or, you know, whatever else. And for 7,000, boom. Or 2,000, you just get him straight up to 7-star with his Zenkai. That is so crazy. So that's the biggest thing that I like. I actually do it, and it doesn't even pertain to me because most of my units that they're releasing now already have like 14 stars. So it's whatever. The thing that I want to see change the most, I do agree. I hate cover change units like Zamasu and Goku and Vegito. I hate it. Bojack. For some reason Bojack's not an issue. I can just kind of deal with him. He's just kind of, it's like, all right, yeah, I know what they're gonna do with Bojack. This movie sucks otherwise. He's like their star player. But I hate that idea. I don't hate that you can drop your combos and that's cool and stuff like that, but I don't like dropping my combos. Like I ever since I got added with Purple Vegito, it's been just not that much fun. He was on one team, wasn't a big deal. But now it's spreading out to all these different teams, and it's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to sit here and think, is he going to swap in that strike? Okay, he didn't swap. Okay, I'm going to stop here for a second, and then I'm going to use my attack. I hate it. It disrupts the way that I'm thinking about playing the game and keeping track of what the other team is doing. And I'm like, all right, his vanish is gone. Wait, he stopped for a second. He gets his vanish back, and it just kills my mood for, like, progressing with it. Yeah, there's ways around it, of course. Like, there's ways around anything in the game. And it's all RNG at the end of the day. Sometimes you just click a blast card and they switch in Zamasu and you're like, get wrecked, dog. But it's just not like fun. And I think back to like the strike, when you could pull out of strike cards and stuff and you could use a rising rush, just burn your rush to then get rid of their advantage. That was actually a fun meta when I look at it now. And I used to complain about it. And it's like, can I just have that back? Like, I would like that back, please. I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But-
Yeah.
just a fun fact. There's a lot of people in the JP community that call cover changes praying.
Praying?
Praying, yeah, because you never know if you're going to get it or not.
Oh, yeah, no, it's
So
true,
you
yeah.
just pray and you switch them in.
You're like, I'm just going to bank that he's going to send in Zamasu. And like, it's 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get lucky and it's like, cool, I just destroyed his entire unit in one combo. That's great because they swapped in at that time and then they can't swap again. And you have Vegito blue with 4 strike cards. And that doesn't feel rewarding to me, though. Like, the old ones felt rewarding when I would use a strike card. They use their vanish. I pull out of it, click a rising rush. That felt rewarding. And it also felt like I could just kind of think ahead of time instead of I have a thought process and now it's cut in half because Vegeta Blue swapped in on my blast card, hit me with a super, and locked me in. You know, it's like...
Yeah, so I have to say, for me, one thing that I think has been laughed at the beginning, but it's kind of overlooked, is the speed that most of the times the game loads. That they increased that. That was because sometimes that keeps me from logging into like Dokkan or Legends. It's just like I have like a minute of time. Do I log in? And it's like I open this, see the splash screen. I'm like, nah. But now I can actually log in and just, you know, at least really like redo my adventures and stuff like that. And in terms of what I would like to see as an improvement, one thing was already spoiled in the chat. That is, I want the tap tackle clash back. So whenever the opponent tackles me and I do a tap punch at the exact right time, it clashes.
Yes.
Because that's really annoying, and I still do that all the time. And the other thing is, please balance Rising Rush in some way that makes the RNG a little bit more balanced, and, you know, not one opponent getting 3 Rising Rushes while you have 1.
Wait, you don't like Rising Rush?
No, I'm not saying I don't like it. I
don't
hate
like
it. What?
It's terrible. Rising Rush is doo-doo. And I agree with you. Like, the tap clashing with tackle, I literally don't see why they removed that from the game in the first place. Like, now if you don't have a red card in your hand, you don't have vanish, you're literally screwed. Like, if someone goes to tackle you. But having that tap clash would have been a great defense for that.
I just hate tackles in general. I think in high level play, if you just are in mid range, you're like, I'm going to go for a tackle. Like more often than not, you're just going to get comboed and you're going to get killed in one combo.
Yeah, I'm also kind of surprised that nobody in here said that their best improvement was the soul farming, especially on the weekends.
I said that.
Graf said that.
Okay. I remember you saying like the events, like the Snake Way thing. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a collective, right? For me, like it's everything they made a lot easier to get resources. It's just like the Snake Way event, the Galactic Patrol event, the weekend, like the tickets you get on the weekend, the free sparkings, the souls, like all that stuff as a collective. To me, they just become a lot more generous recently than they have in the past.
All right. With that, I think we can move on to the next question. The next question has been asked by Uzu Vibe. UZU Vibe. How would you guys like an endless mode or tournament mode for Legends? And I guess
yes to
it's
both.
a bit free. Yes to both. Okay.
Like boss wave mode with increasing rewards depending on how far you make it, but it doesn't have like a ceiling like Rising Battle where you're like, oh, I know I'm about to just sit here and suffer through 100 stages. No, like, let's queue into the mode. Every time you kill a life bar, another boss rotates in. They get progressively stronger. You get to whatever wave you can, and you get some preset rewards that are based on how far you can make it.
Is this kind of like, like in Dokkan with the Easy A, the stage? If you keep going, after 30, you get Seni? Do they mean like do something like that?
Yeah,
The
sure.
stage just goes up a little bit more, but the rewards get a little bit better? I'd like that too. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Although I feel like people would probably cheese the crap out of it, so they probably have to figure out how to deal with float step first. But
I mean, if they put it in co-op and then they make it to where you beat a boss, you get the next one, and you and your buddy can try to get through the gauntlet together, and you're not expected to beat it immediately. That would actually make co-op kind of fun. You'd actually kind of think about what you're doing.
Yeah, just get rid of the shield altogether and just make it like a damage sponge or just more bosses rotating in
Well,
and
you can
out.
keep the shield. You gotta work with your buddy to break the shield, kill the boss. Okay, and now it's gonna spawn cooler, and you keep going, and then suddenly you can't just sponge all the damage because that means your buddy's gonna be dead by the third boss. You guys have to constantly cover for each other and play the game. Because right now I feel like I can put co-op on if I'm actually gonna play it. Look off to my left and just put all my cards on cooldown and keep looking at Twitter, check back on my tablet, and hit my cards again. And be just as effective as if anybody that's actually trying,
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Co-op is
Exactly.
not.
So I think that if suddenly taking damage meant something because there's 10 possible stages, you get all the way to the end, you got a higher chance of getting an eraser. And then I'll team up with my buddy and we'll try to learn the boss AI and the stages of the fight and get all the way through it. Min-max our runs suddenly. I mean that would be kind of fun. That's half my fun in pretty much any RPG is learning the boss mechanics and then min-maxing it.
And I think a
Yeah, that
tournament
is
mode would be great too. Yeah.
actually having to care is like, oh, look, I'll bring a tanky guy. You deal the damage just because the boss does a ton, and then like, oh, you're getting attacked, I'll come cover you, that kind of thing. Yeah, I like that.
God, will we ever see a day in co-op where we actually have to strategically build a team and it's not just, oh, bring the best unit that like butt rapes this unit as quickly as possible? Like, will it ever not just be that?
The problem with that is it's going to make doing co-op with random people impossible. If there's actually a strategy that you need to implement, like it's not going to happen. People can't even pick the right unit to bring. How can you expect them to follow a strategy?
It's true, but it sucks that the community is our own worst enemy when it comes to this mode being more elaborate.
I don't
that
think
could
it's
be
something you
guild
can't.
content
I think
then.
they're bringing like these units on purpose. Like I don't think there's no way that some of these people think that these are trolls, dog. And it's just there's so many of them now. It's like my god.
Dude brings a level 300 Shallot. He's like, I can't wait to run into Brad. Just to run into Brad.
To be on this video.
Just trying to get Brad. Ruin his 2 seconds.
I don't know.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
you
a lot of
just
them are really young
disband, but
and
it's
they
like
don't know
just
what
a
they're doing.
waste of time. Like I don't know, man. We had this conversation.
Okay, so I think we can move on to the last question before we read out the donations. And the last question is coming from Vegeta Spitten. Do you think they should do the Legends tickets like red coins in Dokkan, which should have featured units from step-ups instead of year-old units that nobody uses?
Yes.
Yeah, they got to update that. I don't know why they kind of. What's weird is they clearly acknowledge that the thing exists because they keep giving tickets, but they're not updating the damn shop. They got to update that thing. Like, nobody cares about Tapion from like a year ago anymore. Give us someone different.
The first thing I do every update is I go to check that shop. And every single time I'm disappointed because it's never updated.
Yeah, that seems to be like a trend for the Legends devs. Like, they always create shops. They neglect the shops they create for the longest time. Like, the Rush Metal shop was one of the worst offenders. Like, that whole shop was almost pointless for the longest time. That and the dupe Z Metal shop. Like, completely useless for 6 months or more almost. So, yeah. That's definitely some spot where they could improve, is paying more attention to their in-game currencies in the shops and stuff.
The one thing I will say about the ticket shop, as opposed to Dokkan, is Dokkan does have 3 different types of currency for their coins, whereas Legends just has 1. So that's sort of the big difference, but I think the rate of update that they do is like way too slow in this game. We just got Blue Vegeta added to the ticket shop after a year. It literally took a year for him to get added.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like...
They need to replace just the regular tier Sparkings that are in there too, and not just the LFs also.
I agree, yeah. Like, what about if they put yellow Vegito in there? Think about that.
Not too exclusive, man.
Highest
Gotta
regard.
put him
He's
on
gonna have to
Legend
cost
yellow.
1,000, bro. He'll cost the same as an LF.
He'll cost 1,500. He'll cost
Yeah,
more
he'll
than
co-
LFs.
You have to buy 2 LFs and then sacrifice them, to get
Yeah.
that one.
Oh my god,
Vegeta.
they added a merger system.
Well, hold on.
wow.
I want to touch on one thing real quick. So in the chat, it says that give him a Dokkan, stop mentioning Dokkan. The reason we bring it up because they're not very similar games. They're really not. But we bring it up because they're both made by like very similar companies, or the overall same IP being Dragon Ball. So it's like we bring it up because Legends learns nothing from Dokkan. If they just took a few things here and there on like their pricing, they do a better pricing. We know that. But it's like with the different currencies and how you get units and stuff, free-to-play units. That's where Dokkan succeeds, and Dokkan makes more money, frankly. So that's why we bring it up, because Legends wants to win, and they got to learn some stuff. They can't keep trying to pave a path that's already paved. Like
The actual physical gameplay is vastly different, but all of the subsystems and the currencies and the banner structures is basically like almost a 1-to-1 copy from one game to the other. So like, yeah, the actual gameplay is different, but the actual science of the game and how it works and how you do everything outside of when you're actively playing is basically identical. So they do borrow and copy and bounce ideas off each other a lot, which is why we always are referencing one to the other in various ways.
Yeah, so to go back to the question, I would like to have it similar to the Red Coin shop, where there's units from the previous banners on the step ups, just because it's also would probably make them think about who do we bring back when more, and potentially balance it out, like the yellow Vegito and Broly and Chile situation, for example, so that they can either they can bring them back more frequently, or that players can then save their tickets and just get that unit that they really, really want at the next occurrence.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, I guess with that, it's time to read our donations. And we just got a $20 donation from the Legion. Thank you so much, man. And he's asking the real questions here. What's up, Goresh?
Not much, just doing a podcast,
He's one of our MVP Ultra Tier sponsors, too, so we appreciate the Legion. And he gifted a bunch of subs on Twitch last night, too, I think, also. So
Yeah, I was about to say that as well. On Twitch, he really helped out a lot last night on the stream. We were playing Phasmophobia last night, and it was pretty fun. So, yeah, he was there as well.
Every time Gotcha screamed and pooped his pants, I think he donated a sub or something.
Oh, man. How many pants does this man have, though?
He has to have a lot on deck when he plays that game.
Yeah, let's not go into details. The next donation is $4.99 from Volucious3. Thank you so much. The question is thoughts on a launch unit that can transform infinitely between blue hair and blonde hair every 5 counts.
I think 5 counts is a little. 5 counts is too short. But if she just automatically switched back like every 10 or 15 counts, I think that would actually be like a cool unit.
Dude, that would be a built-in paralysis.
Or just
You
green
just
card, that'd be
attacking
dope.
and you
Yeah,
transform.
green card.
Well, if it
Well, look,
forced
if it's a
you, if it
seamless
didn't, it's just like an
transition.
infinite time stop.
Wait, Nas, let Prof talk, please.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, if you controlled it, then that would be way too overpowered because you would just pause time every time you're feeling like it. If it's just forced upon you, then Ryuden's 100% correct. You're just gonna be like paralysis. You're constantly gonna be, swapping, and then you're gonna get hit by a blast card.
I think it could work as long as it's like a seamless transition that doesn't actually like hold up battle or stop you from acting. Like,
I mean, just main ability it then, whatever. You get to do it once. You can transform into blonde-haired launch one time, and she's just absolutely ridiculous.
I think what you said earlier with the green card, that would also make sense,
yeah,
Yeah,
every
but I
time
then
agree
you
with
they
Prof,
could-
though, because freezing the game, that is a really... Because then you can see what they're doing, even if it's just half a second. You can be like, all right, he's
Yeah,
clicking
but-
a strike card. I'm going to swipe out of that one and get a perfect vanish. So
But you can already
That's
do
what I
that
mean.
when you use a green
I mean, you're
card.
gonna do that with
if
the
it's
green
tied
card
to the
either way.
green, then it's the same mechanic we already have. If he's in the question, they're saying like every 5 timer counts or something.
that'd be ridiculous.
That would be sitting on because most combos are like 8 to 10 timer counts when you do all the charge stepping all the way through, and so like that would literally be every combo you're being able to freeze time again and vanish and time stop and PV all day. It'd be it's so toxic.
I think relegating
Yeah.
it to a green card is the best way to do it. Like, every time you use a green card with her, she sneezes, and then that changes her. That's like the animation. It's
Yeah.
her sneezing, and it changes her hair color and her kit. She would essentially have like 2 different fighting stances. I think that could be really cool if they develop it well.
Yeah,
Or like, you could
potentially-
give her transforming cells ability, and like she dies, and then she sneezes and comes back as blonde launch.
No. That doesn't
but I think it,
I think the green
They could
card is
also-
the best way.
they could also stack buffs based on how many times you transform, for example. So you save the green card for her. But yeah, I think we can move on. We have a couple more donations, and they're now raining in here. The next one is we have Nick, repeat donator. So thank you for the $2, and he's asking, what if the new cooler had the cell mechanic?
I
Be
fully
amazing.
expected him to. Go ahead,
That
Garash.
would be amazing. No, I was gonna say that would be amazing.
Yeah, like, he fits every like logical reason as to why he would have that same passive. Like, every time a metal cooler gets destroyed, another one pops up to take its place. So he's like a poster unit that would make like canonical sense to have that type of passive. So
Yeah,
it's a-
I think so too.
It might be a reality. He very well might. So Nick, you might be looking forward to something like that here soon. We don't really know yet.
He might be coming back as the army.
But if he has the regen tag, like, I know he's gonna have the regen tag, but like on his Z ability to where he actually goes into that team well, that just sounds like a nightmare.
2 regen units that do that.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Can you
I
imagine?
didn't even think about the double regen. Oh my
So
god.
you essentially would have 5 units on your team then instead of 3.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I
like
mean,
if they're
4 wasn't
sacrificing
enough,
his Z
so-
ability to pull it off, sure, but yeah, they can have that as long as he's a movie LOE unit.
Ryuden, you were saying something?
No, this is completely random, but I was just thinking, like, what if as part of his deck, he provides green cards? So, like, with the support Frieza, just perfect disruption right there. Because, like,
Bro,
they
what are you guys
like,
trying to do,
full-
dog?
Full power and LF Frieza synergize so well together because extra blue cards, key recovery, you got everything you need right there. What if Cooler is just one extra piece of the puzzle and then he provides extra greens? That would be
Well,
insane.
I feel like we're the problem here, man. We always talk about how busted units are, and they gotta stop making these busted units. And then Ryuden's over here like, well, just give them every card, bro. They get supers, greens. They can swap in and out. They got Zenkais, like LFs. I think
And
we're
then-
the problem, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
and then launch can also transform forever with that.
Yeah, I mean the problem with
No,
that
but-
is that you have to run blue cooler Zenkai. Like if you're running LOE, he's like the best unit on the team, not even close.
Yep.
I mean,
fair
my
enough.
money's still on yellow chilled, but that's all right.
Okay.
All right, you keep living in your dream world, Brad. That's fine.
Hey, when he released, he was like a 5 out of 10. All right, I used him a lot.
You used him.
5 out of 10 is good enough, huh? All right, so we'll move on to the next donation, which is from Son Goku donating £2. And he just expresses his love for us, no homo. He says, love you, boys. We appreciate you as well, Son Goku. Thank you for the dono. And we got one more, which is from Clay with the $4.99 dono asking, where are transforming Pycon and Super Kaioken Goku?
Yeah, I want to know too. I want to know where that Super Kaioken Goku is, because he was like the first banner that came out after the main anniversary step ups, and they haven't come back yet. But the Goku and Vegeta, the blue ones, have come back already. So I think maybe next banner we'll see them.
You
Yeah,
going in
because there
for
were
Pycon?
three. There were three of those rapid fire banners right as the anniversary ended, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Those-
I mean,
Yeah,
it
they
was,
had the
Pycon
future
Goku,
one.
Vegeta Goku, and then what was the third one?
that was it.
No, Goku and Turles?
That
Yeah,
was
there's
after
the
the
Turtles
anniversary.
banner.
Was it pretty far after? Okay, I remember.
I guess it still felt close to
Was it
anniversary.
really? Because I felt like, to me, it felt like when the Kaioken Goku dropped, I was like, oh, okay, this is their answer to VB. Green Goku, he's going to do it. And then he didn't quite do it. And then the Turtles banner dropped, and I was like, okay, well, now this is the answer. And then he didn't really do it either.
Just gave up after that.
None of the green Gokus could tap that power, dog.
Yeah, so let's use Red Gohan instead, and he did it.
And the red unit dropped. It's like, nah, I got it.
All right, so those are all the donations we have, and that's it for the cast. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and again, don't forget to check out the description. Follow us over on Twitter for any and every updates when we go live on Twitch, when we have new videos up, when we post the questions threads. Don't forget to again check out Twitch and join our public Discord and our Facebook pages, and check out the YouTube membership so you can subscribe and you can support the channel, as well as checking out our content creators' Twitter channels so that you can see when they upload videos. And yeah, with that, we hope to see you all again next week. And you have a good rest of your day, your night, or wherever you are. Bye, guys.
This is gonna look kind of ugly. I apologize, our ultra tier sponsors, but I don't have proper credit set up yet. So we still got you covered though. Peace out, everybody.
Have a good